Hello, so this is a yoga flow where we're going to be working on the whole body because we've been looking at crow pose for the last 3 weeks. So we're going to combine all of the elements that we've been doing. We're going to do a little bit more core focused in this session, just to give you a really good idea of how the core muscles are used in crow pose. So before we begin, just make sure you've got some weights with you. I'd suggest 1 to 2 kilogram weights. I'm using just some tins of beans that I've got available because my 6 kilogram weights will be too heavy for what we're doing because it's quite repetitive and we don't want to put too much strain on the arms. So it's just as I've mentioned this a couple of times in the classes, it's purely to strengthen the body, also helps toning the body, but also when we're doing these repetitive movements, you will start to form new neural connections, which will aid spatial awareness and muscle memory. So that is what we're going to be using. Also, it would help if you have got some pillows or blocks, or just some books if you don't have blocks. So I've got a nice long flat book here that's useful for sitting on, and you can place your hands on it in your practice. This one's a little bit more sturdy. This is just a brick. If you've got a book, really thick one, you can also use that. That will help support you in your practice, and that's really good for placing your hand down, and it's a lot more supportive than this long and thin one. So let's make a start. Let's begin in child's pose. So you're welcome to keep the knees together, or you can open up the knees to the sides and start to reach the arms out in front of you. So you may start to feel a little pull in the lower back. Keep the sit bones drawn to the heels if you can, and maybe with a block or pillows, whatever you've got handy, you're welcome to place the forehead on the edge of your block here to help support you. And if you feel you could go lower down, you're welcome of course to lower your forehead down to your mat, maybe even stacking one fist or another fist. And starting to breathe in and out through the nose, softening the shoulders, the jaw and the mouth. And knowing that you can come back to this pose throughout your practice today. Start to breathe into the upper back, so noticing the ribs opening up and expanding in the upper back. And as you exhale, allowing the ribs to draw back into the body as you soften down the weight of the body into the mat. And on your next inhale, start to walk the left fingertips out in front a little bit more. So you're stretching through the left side of the body here. And then softening that left hand back in towards the body. Inhale, walking the right hand out in front. Taking 1 or 2 breaths here to breathe and stretch through the right side of the body. And exhale, softening the right arm back in towards you. As you inhale, lift the forehead and gaze in between the hands. Exhale, starting to walk the hands over to the left side of the mat. And here again, you can place blocks or bricks underneath, maybe even some stack of pillows if you need to, underneath the forehead to support the head here. So here we're stretching a little bit more through the right side of the body. You're welcome to stay here and breathe into this space. Or if you want to go a little bit deeper, you could cross the right arm over the left. Being mindful of the lower back. If there's any tightness there already, you could potentially pull a muscle, so just start to soften into this. Ease yourself in gently and continue to listen to your body. Take one more breath, stretching from the right fingertips down the whole of the right side of the body. On your next inhale, opening up the hands, so the hands are about shoulder distance. Walking the hands back into the body and placing the left hand beside you. Inhale to reach the right hand up. And as you exhale, circle the right arm back. Inhale, reaching the right arm, sweeping it all the way across the front of you. And exhale, circle back. Couple more circles here. Continue to breathe as you inhale, reach and lengthen the right arm, and exhale, twisting round to the right, making one more circle here. Good. So this is really good to open up the chest. More often than not, we are hunched over driving or our desks. As you inhale, walk to the center of the mat and then over to the right side of your mat, softening the sit bones down. And again, you're welcome to place your forehead on blocks or pillows, whatever you've got handy here, really. So we're breathing down the left side of the body here. If it would feel good, listen to your body again. Maybe crossing the left arm over the right. And taking a further 3 breaths here. Breathing and lengthening through the whole of the left side of the body. One more breath. As you inhale, opening up the hands, so the hands are shoulder distance. Walk the hands back into the body and placing your hand beside you. If you want to, you can place that underneath your block or book, whatever you've got. Inhale to reach the left hand up. And as you inhale, growing through to the fingertips, exhale, circling that left hand around. Inhale to circle around the front of the body and exhale, opening up to the side. Couple more here. Making this your last one. Good. And then start to walk the hands back to the centre of the mat. Lifting the sit bones away from the heels. And now start to walk the hands out in front. And we're resting the top of the forehead on the mat, keeping the sit bones lifted. If you need to, you can place a pillow underneath the head here. I wouldn't suggest a block or a book for this, because the forehead is on the floor. It might feel a bit uncomfortable, so just make sure you've got some soft support there. So the tailbone is lifted. And if you can, taking a little inhale, stretch from the fingertips to the tailbone. One more breath. And as you inhale, softening the forearms down to the mat, gazing in between the hands, lifting the sit bones and walking the hands back underneath you. So we'll come back to our strong, steady tabletop position. So fingers are spread nice and wide and rooting down through the heel of the hand here. Fingertips rooted into the mat. So you're creating a little bit of suction in the palm of the hand. And that should help prevent any soreness around the wrists. And as we've discussed in our classes, spiraling the triceps inwards here, and you should feel strong and supported in the upper arms, but we're not rotating or spiraling the inside of the elbow out and using joints to support our body. We're purely using muscle to strengthen and support us in our practice. As you inhale, suck the belly into the spine and tuck the toes underneath. Exhale to lift the knees and reach the hips up into down facing dog. And here you're welcome to bicycle the feet out, coming onto the tips of the toes as you inhale. Exhale to bend through one knee and press the opposite heel into the mat. Inhale, tippy toes.
Exhale to bend one knee, pressing opposite heel into the mat. Couple more times on each leg. And then starting to find some stillness in your down dog. Being mindful of the head. There's no tension in the neck. Maybe just shaking the head side to side. Nodding up and down. And as you inhale, starting to walk the hands into the feet. And bend the knees into the chest. Maybe coming onto the tips of the fingers here if you need to. And again, you're welcome to place hands on the block as you halfway lift. Finding length right through to the crown of the head and keeping the chest open here so we're not rounding through the back. There's broadening through the chest at the front of the body and a nice flat back here. As you exhale, start to bend, so soften the knees here and gazing to the front of the mat. Power down through the heels as you lift the arms all the way up. Exhale, drawing the hands into the heart center. And we'll come to stand at the front of the mat. So big toes touch and the heels are parted. Inhale, circling hands all the way up here. As you exhale, opening up the arms behind you and nose dive forward. Bending the knees into the chest. Head is soft. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the shins or the thighs. Maybe even using a block here, anything to support your practice. As you exhale, starting to step the left foot back. So we'll start to work on our arm strength to begin with. Inhale, dropping the left knee down and keeping the toes tucked underneath. As you inhale, root down to the fingertips and opening up through the chest. Again, being mindful we're not rounding and hunching, keeping the whole of the front of the body nice and open. Exhale, squeeze the thighs, reaching the hands all the way up here. If you want to, you can place the hands on the thigh for a little bit of support and continue to grow all the way up through to the crown of the head. We'll take 3 breaths here, finding reach either to the fingertips or to the crown of the head. One more breath. On your next exhale, circling the hands behind you and placing the hands to the inside of the right foot. Heel and toe the foot to the edge of the mat and just shimmying the hips side to side. If it feels good, maybe circling the hips around. And when you're ready, stepping that right foot back into tabletop position. So stable tabletop position, spiraling the triceps under. Inhale, tuck the toes, suck the belly into the spine. Reaching the hips into your down dog. And again, you're welcome to bicycle the feet out here, or you can pivot the toes to the sides of the mat. That's a really nice option to stretch a little bit more in the upper back and the sides of the body. And when you're ready, coming into a still down dog, softening through the knees. The ears are in line with the head here, so we're not dumping into the shoulders. On your next inhale, walking the hands into the feet. Maybe coming onto the tips of the fingers and bending the knees to the chest if you need to. A little inhale, halfway lift, hands to the shins. And again, you can use your block here, coming into a lovely flat back. Exhale, bending the knees into the chest as you forward fold. Inhale, root down through the heels, reaching the hands all the way up and overhead. And exhale, bring the hands into the heart center. Coming to stand at the front of the mat. Big toes kiss and the heels are parted. Taking an inhale, reaching the hands all the way up. And as you exhale, nose dive forward, start to hinge from the hips. And bend the knees into the chest when you feel that resistance and any tightness, softening the head. A little inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the fingertips
And this time stepping the right foot back, dropping the knee down to the mat, keeping the chest open and lifted. And if you need to here, you can place blocks underneath the hands to keep the chest open. From here, you're welcome to place the hands on the thigh or reach the hands up. Starting to squeeze the thighs together so we're not dumping too much into that left hip. Keeping stability in the hips. One more breath to lengthen. Exhale, circling the arms back and placing the hands to the inside of the left foot. Heel and toe the left foot to the edge of the mat. And start to shimmy the hips side to side or round in a circle. Anything that would feel good for you. And when you're ready, stepping that left foot back into tabletop. Good. So do a little bit of arm work here. And I thought it would be a good idea to focus a little bit more on the triceps today. So you're welcome to try this in a tabletop position. And what we're going to be doing, and I'll show you the different variations that we can do. All we're going to be doing is little press-ups. So start to bend the elbows and hug the elbows into the side of the body and then press back up. So there's little dips and press back up. So we're not dropping down all the way. Otherwise that's going to cause a lot of pressure on the shoulder. It's just a little dip and then press back up. Continuing to lengthen your heart forwards to the front of the mat rather than just dipping the face in between the hands. See if you can lengthen your heart forwards and then press back up. So your chin falls beyond the fingertips and back up. So that's option one. If you want to, you can come to your wall, if you have a wall in the house, and press the hands on the wall. It's a similar situation to tabletop. As you exhale, bend the elbows and hug them into the body and press back up. For this, you might not be able to reach the heart forwards. Just be mindful that we're not putting pressure in the shoulder here. So it's a little bend and press away. Bending through the elbows and press away. So finding whatever option works for you. The tabletop position can be a little bit intense. So we'll work on about 8. Exhale to press away. Good. Let's do 5. 4. Leaning the heart forwards. 3. 2. And 1. Perfect. On your next inhale, start to tuck the toes. Exhale, lift the knees and reach the hips into down dog. If you prefer not to come into down dog, that is absolutely fine. Staying in child's pose or down dog. And we'll hold here for 2 breaths. And again, if you're in down dog, you're welcome to move the feet in any way that you see fit. Maybe bicycle the feet out or point the toes. If you are in child's pose, starting to lift the head, gazing in between the hands. Meet us in down dog, tuck the toes. And everyone to inhale, walk the hands into the feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root down through the heels, lifting the arms all the way up and overhead. And as you exhale, bring the hands into the heart center. Coming to stand at the front of the mat. Make sure you grab hold of your weights here. So I'm just using my tins. And we'll focus a little bit more on our arm work. So big toes kiss and the heels are parted. Lengthening all the way out through to the crown of the head. Nice big inhale to reach the hands up. As you exhale, keep the arms lifted, shoulder distance. And start to step the left foot back. Pivot the heel down to the mat. Just make sure the hips are square to your mat here. And if there's any pain around the ankle, you're welcome to lift the heel. Taking a nice big inhale, lengthen. And exhale to bend through that knee. 2 more. One more. Keeping strong through that right knee. On your next exhale, bend the elbows. So you're framing the body with the arms. Inhale to lift up. Exhale, hinge the elbows, squeeze the shoulder blades. Inhale to reach up. And exhale. 3 more. 2. 1. Exhale, hinge from the elbows. On your next inhale, drawing the forearms together, and inhale to open the chest. Let's do 3, 2, inhale to open, 1 more. Inhale to open, pressing through the hands to lift up. On your next inhale, root down through the right heel and reach the right hand all the way up. So it's out to the side. Inhale, reaching that arm forwards and lowering it down to the floor here. So you can hold on to your shin bone or maybe placing a block underneath the hand. So you can use that long length one. Mindful there might not be much support with that one. Or you can place your hand on the brick. And the gaze can be off to the side or up to the ceiling. We'll take 3 breaths here. Lengthening and growing through that left hand. Spiraling the chest to the left side. As you inhale, gaze down to the mat. Grabbing hold of that weight. So I'm just going to face the camera here to show you what we're going to be doing next. Holding here. So we've got the weight in our right hand. And we'll start to press through the right heel and lift the left hand up. Exhale, lowering the right hand. Inhale, lifting the left hand up. And exhale to lower the right hand. So let's do 5. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. 4. So this is really good for your arm strength. And also working a little bit more of your core here. 1 more, inhale, lift. Exhale to lower that right arm down. Inhale, lift. And reaching the arms all the way back up and overhead, bending back through that right knee. Nice big inhale, opening the chest. Exhale, circling the arm back, dropping your weights down. Placing the hands to the inside of the right foot as you lift up the back heel and drop the left knee down. Heel and toe the right foot to the edge of the mat. And then walking that right foot back into tabletop. So from here you're welcome to stay in your tabletop position. Otherwise you can come into plank so the heels are lifted and there's a nice straight line from the head to the heels. Wherever you are, we'll take 2 breaths here. Dropping the knees down if you experience any pain, any lower back pain in the back. 1 more breath. As you exhale, drop the knees down, having a little breather here. So coming into plank or even tabletop position is a really good way to strengthen and tone the core. So you're welcome to stay in tabletop position with the knees down, or you can continue to work in plank if that worked for your body. So we'll start to lower our forearms down. Inhale to prepare. As you exhale, lowering down the left forearm and the right forearm. Inhale, left hand, right hand. Inhale, left forearm, right forearm. Exhale, pressing through the left hand and the right hand. Let's do 3, 4, 2. I realised the countdown was wrong. Let's do 1 more. Keeping the forearms grounded now. So if you're in tabletop, shifting the weight forwards and back. If you're in plank, shifting the weight forwards onto the toes and back. So it's a similar sort of thing. And back. Keeping strong through the core. Again, dropping the knees down if you have any lower back pain. 1 more here. Dropping the knees down. Resting the sit bones and the heels, just having a little breather. Inhale, gazing in between the hands. Lifting the sit bones away from the heels. Tuck the toes underneath. Mindful, we're still keeping strong in the upper arms. And exhale to lift the knees, reaching the hips back into your down dog. Taking 2 breaths here in down dog. And you can skip down dog if you want to stay in child's pose. Remember, this is your own practice. If you're in child's pose, getting ready to meet us in down dog. Inhale, walking the hands into the feet. Halfway lift, hands to the shins, or maybe using a block here. Nice flat back. Exhale, forward fold, bending the knees into the chest. Inhale, gazing to the front of the mat. Start to power down through the heels as you lift the arms all the way up. And exhale into the heart center. Coming to stand at the front of the mat. Big toes kiss. Heels are parted. Grabbing hold of your weights. Reaching hands all the way up. Keeping the arms lifted. Nice big inhale. And as you exhale, this time stepping the right foot back. Pivoting the heel down to the mat. Taking 3 breaths here. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, soften through that left knee. 2, nice big inhale to lengthen. And 1 more. Keeping strong through that left leg. On your next inhale, starting to lift through to the fingertips, and exhale, hinge from the elbows. You're framing the body with the arms. Inhale, lift. And exhale to hinge from the elbows. Let's do 5, 4, 3, squeezing the shoulder blades, 2, 1. Exhale. Good. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale, hinge from the elbows, framing the body with the hands. Inhale, bringing the forearms together, and exhale, opening out through the chest. Forearms together. Inhale, opening up the chest. 3, 2, and 1. Opening up the chest. Nice big inhale to reach the hands all the way up. As you exhale, press through the left heel to lengthen and sending the left arm out. Inhale, reaching the left arm down, placing the weight down on the floor here. Using your block if you need a little bit of support, keeping that right arm lifted, opening out through the chest. If you want to, you can place your hand on the shin bone, and the gaze can be out to the side or up to the ceiling. 1 more breath here. Inhale, gazing down to the mat and grabbing hold of that weight again here. As you inhale, lifting the right hand up, so you're sliding that left hand along the inside of the left thigh, and exhale, softening down. Inhale, lift, keeping strong through the core, so as if someone could be tickling your belly, drawing the belly in towards the spine. Exhale. Let's do 3, 2, 1 more. As you inhale, gaze down to the mat, bending back through that left knee, reaching the arms all the way up. Nice big inhale. Exhale, circling the arms back and dropping the weights down. Lifting up the back heel, dropping down the back knee. Heel and toe the left foot to the edge of the mat. Shimming the hips side to side. And when you're ready, stepping that left foot back, either into tabletop position or coming into plank. And we'll take 2 breaths here. If you're in tabletop position, focus on rooting down through the heel of the hand, sucking the belly into the spine, and exhale, cinch the side of the body together. Exhale, drop the knees down to the mat. Having a little breather here. And we'll start to lower the forearms down to the mat again here. So finding whatever option works for you, either in tabletop position or in plank. So inhale, lowering down the left forearm and the right forearm. Exhale to press through the left and the right hand. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Staying here on your forearms, either in tabletop position or in plank. Inhale, reaching the heart forwards, either in tippy toes if you're in plank, and exhale back. Forwards and back. Mindful we're keeping the bottom as it is, we're not reaching the hips back. So it's a little shimmy forwards and back. 3, 2, and 1. Dropping the knees down, resting the sit bones on the heels. Soft, easy breaths in and out through the nose. You're welcome to stay here in child's pose, or if you want to come into down dog, taking an inhale, lifting the forehead, reaching the hips away, tuck the toes. Exhale, lifting the hips back into your down dog. 2 breaths here in down dog. Creating length through to the tailbone as you inhale. Exhale to magnetize chest to thighs. If you're in child's pose, getting ready to meet us in down dog. And we'll inhale, walking the hands back into the feet. Inhale, halfway lift hands to the shins. Nice flat back and opening through the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, gaze into the front of the mat as you power down through the heels and lift the arms all the way up. Exhale, bring the hands into the heart center. Come to stand at the front of the mat. Grabbing hold of your weights again. Big toes kiss and the heels are parted. Inhale to reach your hands all the way up. As you exhale, stepping the left foot back and pivoting the heel down. So the right arm is out in front and the left hand is behind. Inhale to reach and lengthen through the spine, and exhale, bending through the right knee. If you want, you can hold your tins so they're vertical rather than horizontal here. One more breath to lengthen, and exhale, softening through the knee. As you inhale, flipping the palms to the ceiling, and exhale, hinging from the elbows, keeping strong through the triceps, and mindful we're not dropping the weights down to the shoulders. So the arm bones are vertical to the elbow here. Inhale to open up the arms, and exhale, using your biceps, squeeze the tin or your weight in towards the body. Keeping strong through that right knee so we're not easing off here. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. So, holding your weights in any way that feels good for you, maybe vertical in the hand here. As you exhale, start to lower down the forearm to that right thigh. So I'm just going to face the camera here so you can see what I'm doing with the weight. So the right forearm is to the thigh, keeping that left hand lifted, and this is going to strengthen through the left shoulder, holding this weight up. Keeping your tin or your weight vertical here, and starting to hinge the wrist down and up. So this is called a wrist strengthener. This is something we haven't done in our practice, in our classes, purely because we don't have weights. But keeping the wrist level as you lift up, so we're only hinging from the wrist here. And this is quite strong here. So let's do 5. Continue to breathe. 3, 2, 1. When you're ready, reaching the left hand back, right arm out in front, nice big inhale. As you exhale, windmill the hands down to the inside of the left foot, lowering down your weights. Heel and toe the right foot to the edge of the mat, dropping down that left knee. So this is the really lovely hip opener that I favour. So we'll flip the sole of that right foot away, keeping the left hand rooted into the mat and placing the right hand just in front of the hip here. So inhale, create length in the spine, so not hunched. Lengthen through the spine, exhale, opening out the chest to the right side. If you want to, you can lift the back knee and also hinge from the heel as you're coming onto the side of the feet here. I prefer not to do that one and keep the knee down as it's safer in the foot. But some people also prefer that one to stretch out the back of the feet. One more breath. Inhale, gazing down to the mat, lowering down the sole of the right foot and that right hand. Stepping the right foot back into your tabletop position. So we'll come into a little bit of press ups here. You can either stay in your tabletop or come to the wall that we demonstrated at the beginning. Taking a little inhale to prepare. And as you exhale, leaning the heart forward and a little hinge from the elbows. Keeping the arms hugged to the body so we're not lifting them out to the sides. And we'll do 5, 4, 3, so it's only little dips, 2, 1 more, good, and then reaching the hips back, down to the heels, forehead on the mat, little breath here, in through the nose, and out through the nose. Staying here in child's pose for a little bit longer if you need to. If you want to come into down dog, lifting the hips away from the heels, tuck the toes, exhale to lift the hips back into your down dog. Taking a further breath here in down dog. If you're in child's pose, getting ready to meet us in down dog. And on your next inhale, walking the hands into the feet. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, bending the knees to the chest as you forward fold. Inhale, power down through the heels, gazing to the front of the mat. Inhale, lifting the chest and the arms all the way up. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart center. Coming to stand at the front of the mat. Big toes kiss, heels are parted, grabbing hold of your weights here again. Inhale, reach the hands all the way up. As you exhale, this time, stepping the right foot back, pivoting the heel down to the mat. Left arm reaching out in front and the right hand behind. Inhale to create length through the spine. Exhale, bending through that left knee. Holding the weights in any way that feels good for you. So for some people it may be with the weights horizontal or vertical. For me, I like to hold it vertically. 2 more breaths, finding length and reach the crown of the head and exhale, soften. Flipping the tins up so the palms are facing up to the ceiling. As you exhale, hinge from the elbows really strong through the biceps. And inhale to open up. Exhale, bending the elbows and inhale, open. Good. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Opening up here and lowering the left forearm down to the thigh. So the right hand is lifting up here. So keeping that left hand or the left forearm across the thigh, and similar to what we were doing before, right hand stays lifted. And holding your tin of beans or your weights vertically here, and we'll start to do a bit of a wrist strengthener and an exercise. So keeping the wrist level, and we'll drop down the tin or your weight and lift up. Just a little down and up movement here. Keeping strong through that left knee. You can gaze down to the mat or up to the ceiling, whatever feels best on the neck. Okay, so let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, reaching the right hand back, left arm out in front, nice big inhale. As you exhale, windmill the hands down, lowering your weights, lifting up the back knee so the toes are pointing forwards, and then dropping the right knee down. Heel and toe the left foot to the edge of the mat. Powering down through the right hand and revealing the sole of the left foot, placing the hand just in front of the left hip. And continue to grow through the spine with each breath. Exhale, opening up the chest to the left a little bit more. 2 more here. As you inhale, gaze down to the mat, lowering your left hand and the left foot, and getting ready to step back into your tabletop position. We'll work a little bit more on the arms. So taking an inhale to prepare. Of course, you can come to your wall if you need to. As you exhale, reaching the heart a little dip and pressing back through as you exhale. Reaching heart forwards, pressing through as you exhale. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Resting the sit bones on the heels, forehead on the mat or your block. Any support underneath the forehead here. Taking 3 breaths. As you inhale, gazing in between the hands, and starting now to drop down the left hip down to the mat. And from here, reaching the legs out in front. So I'm just going to show you on this side, but you're welcome to keep the legs in length with the mat. Starting to bend your left knee, so the sole of the foot is to the inside of the thigh. Bending the right knee, and the foot is about a 90-degree angle to the knee. Nice big inhale, create length in the spine. And as you exhale, walking the hands out in front. So this is starting to stretch out the right hip here. You're welcome to come onto your forearms. And of course, use your blocks and pillows to support you from underneath. So maybe forehead on your block. Maybe even lowering all the way down to the floor of your mat. And we'll start to breathe into this space, and we'll take 5 breaths here. As you inhale, lifting the forehead, gazing in between the hands, walking the hands back towards you. Something that I should have mentioned about the knee, if you did find this pose quite difficult, you're welcome to come onto your back and start to press the right ankle across the thigh, drawing the left knee in towards you. Being mindful that we're not lifting and hunching through the shoulders here, keeping the shoulders nice and open and soft, drawing them down to the floor as much as you can. And if it helps, you're welcome to place the left foot on a wall. So you can start to press through the wall and squeeze the right knee in towards you, and just lowering the arms down to the floor. So it's better to keep the shoulders open here rather than add any more tension and tightness in the neck. So you're welcome to use that one here. When you're ready, lengthening the legs, both legs out in front. And bending through the right knee, placing the sole of the foot inside the thigh. Bending the left knee back, keeping the left toes flexed. So they're in line with the left knee. Walking the hands out in front. Using blocks or any support if you need to here. So lengthening the legs out in front. And start to bend the right knee. So bending the left knee. Bending the right knee. That's it. Is that what you're doing? Yeah. And remember, you can of course place, I can't remember what we did. And remember, you can of course lower down your back to the mat, and this time placing the left ankle over the right thigh, lifting up the right foot, interlace the hands around the thigh, keeping the shoulders soft here. If that's too intense, place the right foot on a wall and soften the arms down and start to breathe into this space. So wherever you are, finding your option, breathing in a way that feels good for you. We'll take a further 3 breaths. Inhale, lifting the forehead, walking the hands back into the body. And we'll come and lower our backs down to the mat. So flexing the feet towards you, reaching the arms out in front, nice big inhale. And as you exhale, really slowly starting to lower the back all the way down to the mat here. Just letting the spine settle for a moment. On your next inhale, bending the knees into the chest, wrapping the hands around the back of the thighs, and we'll start to roll back and forth on our spine. So inhale, reaching the feet forward, so you're lifting the chest up, and exhale back. So let's do 5, 4. This is really good for massaging your spine. And it's also fun to pretend you're a 5-year-old. 1 more. Keeping the chest open here. Root down through the sit bones and reaching the feet out. So you're welcome to flex the feet or point the feet, whatever works for your body. Holding onto the back of the thighs here or reaching the arms beside the legs. Start to breathe and lengthen through to the crown of the head. Smiling here, this can be an intense pose. Taking 3 more breaths. One more breath. Hugging the knees into the chest. Exhale, rolling back onto your back. So we'll do that 1 more time, and we'll roll up 3 times. And we'll come into boat pose again, lifting the legs up, or we'll come into a new pose, a new movement if you want to give that a go. So placing the hands around the back of the thighs. Inhale to lift up and exhale to roll down. So that's 2. 1 more, keeping the chest lifted now. Reaching up the legs, arms either wrapped around the thighs or parallel to the floor here. If you want to try something a little bit different, you can stay here if you need to, or want to try something a little bit different, starting to bend the knees into the chest, lowering down and opening up the arms and the legs into a big starfish. Inhale, drawing up. Exhale, opening out. Inhale, drawing up. And exhale, opening up. Mindful, this can be quite intense on the neck, so if you have any neck pain, please refrain from doing this. So let's do 1 more. Keeping the knees lifted, arms reaching up, nice big inhale. Exhale, really slowly lowering back down. And we'll place the feet flat on the mat. A little bit of an inhale here through the nose. Exhale, allowing the knees to collapse over to the right.
Inhale, lifting these back up to the ceiling. Exhale, over to the left. 2 more each side. Reaching the arms into a T shape. Gazing to the opposite shoulder of the direction of the knees. Knees to the ceiling as you inhale and exhale over to the left. And 1 more each side here. When you're ready, we'll settle into relaxation shavasana. So placing a pillow or a blanket underneath the head. If you have any lower back pain, opening up the feet as wide as the mat and allowing the knees to roll inwards like a little teepee. Being mindful of the shoulders, maybe lifting them up away from the mat and rolling away from the ears. The breath is soft and gentle, entering and leaving the nostrils. Softening the jaw and allowing heaviness to instill in the mouth, tongue and the teeth. Easing the skin and the muscles in the forehead, the eyebrows and the temples. So you can stay here for as long as you wish. And you're welcome to pause this video now. But when you're ready to come up, slowly wriggling toes and fingers, reaching the arms overhead if that would feel good to stretch. And as you exhale, hug the knees into the body, gently rocking the body from side to side. Coming onto your right side when you're ready. Creating a pillow with the underside of the arm, just staying grounded on your side here for a couple more moments. And pressing through the left hand to help bring yourself into a comfortable seated position. You can sit cross-legged or in any position that works for you. And resting the back of the hands on the knees, opening out through the chest. Allowing the crown of the head to expand and lengthen. And bringing the hands to the heart center, gently bowing the head to the fingers. Namaste. So you're welcome now to try crow pose. I thought I'd leave it until the very end, just so that you get a little bit of a yoga practice in, and then there's no real pressure to come into crow pose. It's just helping you to strengthen the muscles in the body. So you're welcome to come into crow pose now, and I would suggest coming into it in 2 different ways. So come into it before in tabletop position, so stepping 1 foot forward and the other foot forward. And what I would suggest is stepping 1 foot forward, making sure you've got a little bit of space, maybe about half of a foot space between the foot and the heel of the left hand. And just check in with the body, seeing how that feels. Start to bend through the front knee and squeeze that knee to the outside of the arm. And then start to step the other foot forwards again, about half of a foot distance. Start to shift the weight forwards to the toes and then back. And maybe when you found a little bit of a lift, maybe lifting one toe and the other toe and then coming back. So finding a little bit of lift. And the other way that you can come into it is from standing. So opening up the feet a little bit wider than hip distance.
Start to shimmy the hips down, placing the hands out in front, shimmying the feet towards the arm bones, really bending through the knees. So you're on the tips of the toes here, making sure there's about half a foot distance between your back of the heel of the hand and the toes. Continue to squeeze the knees into the arm bones, maybe lifting up one toe and the other toe. And coming down when you're ready. So just having a little go here. I'm going to do a full comprehensive tip video for you on my Facebook page. So that'll just be filmed off my phone as it's just a short little video. So I hope that helps. Have a beautiful day and I'll see you soon. Bye.